Well, I just finished my fourth build out of an old saw blade. I've been doing kitchen knife style ones. This was my first one. Second and third. These two I did not do a heat treat on, and this one I did, with the hope that the blade wouldn't get rust stains and corrosion marks on it. Been using this for about a week, and it's definitely holding up better than these other two as far as that goes. But just finished this one. I think it's kind of like a trench knife type of a deal here, stabber. But stick around and watch the rest of the build. Thanks. Welcome to Tobar's Realm. Today I am going to start on another knife made from old saw blades. I'm currently working on this one. This is the first one I've tried heat treating in hopes that it'll be more corrosion resistant. Here's a one I did that was not heat treated and it gets rusty spots on it. So this one I'm hoping that the heat treating and quenching in oil will add more of a protective layer on that. But while I'm waiting for the epoxy on this one to finish curing, I think I'll start another one. This time a double-edged knife, and I'm also going to make it 3 layers thick of the saw blade on the handle and have these points sticking out the sides, and I'll rivet it to the center piece, so it'll be these like spike parts on each side of the center blade. I'll rivet it and then do the handle through all 3 layers. So I just drew out half of this, and I think I'm just gonna cut it out, fold it over, make a mirror image so I can get it exactly the same. So I'm gonna start doing that. Alright, I got the pattern drawn on there, so now it's time to cut it out. I'll worry about those other parts later, but for now I'll get this cut out. Alright, got it. Just cut out with the angle grinder, and now I'm just going to clean it up on the bench grinder. Alright, I got the pattern done for the handle part, so I'm going to transfer that to this piece, and then I'll have another one on the other side, so I need to do 2 of those. Alright, well, I got these pieces rough cut out, and I marked where I'm going to drill the holes. I just used the punch to mark those, so I think I'm going to drill that center blade first, then line it up with these, get those drilled, and then just bolt it together so I can grind it all at the same time. So start with that. Alright, so I got the 1/4-inch holes drilled through the handle, and then also I drilled where I'm going to put a steel rivet through that part. I almost made a mistake, or I started to make a mistake by drilling a 1/4-inch hole there, but I stopped in time. I think it'll be fine. But next I'm going to take it back to the bench grinder and grind it to get these outside pieces to match the inside, I guess shank you'd call it, I guess. But anyway, time to take it back to the bench grinder. Alright, well, I got the handle ground down so it's even on all the sides there. Now I'm going to take the middle out and do the same thing to the 2 outer pieces for the upper part. Alright, I got those pieces for the handle and the guards basically done and cleaned up the top part that'll be showing. This will be covered by the handle anyway. So now I think it's time to sharpen this blade. Just use those lines as a reference for the center and where those other pieces will cover up. So let's get on it. Alright, well, I've just been cleaning up this side of the blade. I've just been using 150 grit sandpaper to take the scratches out of it. Haven't done this side yet. Alright, I got them heat treated. Now I'm gonna go and temper them, but I think I'll wash them off with some soap and water before putting them in the oven, so hopefully our house doesn't smell like burnt oil. The wife would not appreciate that. Alright, I'm ready to move on to making the handle, and I'm just going to use a piece of this oak drawer that I saved to use as scrap. So I'm just going to cut out 4.5 inch length. Alright, I got the holes drilled through the handle, and I added a angle here. I think that'll look kind of nice with the triangle shape here of that piece. So just got bolts through it to make sure they're all lined up good. So I'm just going to use some 1/4 inch tubing for the rivets through this, and I just cut these off of a roll with a angle grinder cutting wheel. So I'm going to clean these up, make sure they're nice and straight. Alright, time to apply the epoxy. I really don't like working with this stuff very much, but just need to make sure I keep these all in order. Alright, so I left it overnight, clamped together. The epoxy is cured now. Kind of a mess. Like I said, I don't like working with that stuff. The more you mess with it, the worse it gets on everything. But there's some spots I need to clean up and cut these little pegs off, and then start forming the handle. Alright, well, I got the handle sanded down to the metal on around the outside. Now I'm just using a file to take these down a little bit, kind of bevel that corner down. I'm going to keep going along the edge, and alright, so I got the handle shaped the way I want it. It's a little thick, a little bulky, but I'm satisfied with it. I'm just going to leave the holes from those rivets through there. And I think I'm going to stain it Sedona red. So let's do that, and then I'm getting close to being done. Well, I got the handle stained, but I haven't put the finish on it yet. But something I need to get done is putting a rivet in that. And I'm thinking I'm going to use a copper rivet. So So I'm just going to cut the head off this and then mushroom both sides of it. So just cut this head off first.